Blue skies, a freshly mown outfield, men in white, a summer cricket tournament you'd think much like any other. But not all is as it seems. This is Ljubljana, the capital of Slovenia, once part of Yugoslavia in the heart of the old communist world. It's now becoming part of the ever-expanding cricket world. Not surprisingly, the teams here behind what was the Iron Curtain are a little unusual too. Slovenia, Croatia, Bulgaria, Finland, Switzerland and Luxembourg. Poland and Slovakia should also be here, but mounting costs put them off. They were even offered the option of camping during the tournament, but stayed at home. One of the many bizarre facts of life at this level of international cricket.
Now, because we've had two teams drop out, unfortunately, that's Poland and the Slovak Republic, we haven't got a group. You're each going to play each other once. So that's 5 games over 6 days, which means that basically we've got a rest day, or, if the heavens open, we've got a rain day.
The European Representative Championships are run by the European Cricket Council, part of the ICC. All teams and players here have to abide by the same rules as the rest of the cricketing world. And the players have to be qualified for their country by birth, ancestry or residence. The ground itself is on land owned by the neighbouring psychiatric hospital. It's not quite Lord's, but that's not surprising.
We put them actually a few examples from England where there are quite a few grounds at hospitals and psychiatric hospitals, and it was enough to convince them to actually give a cricket a trial and have the tournament here. They had a meeting on Monday, last Monday, so we're talking about 6 days ago, at 10 o'clock. And 12 o'clock on Monday we got the word that we could use the ground for the tournament. We just started cutting, rolling, filling in the holes, laying the pitch.
It's an interesting addition to the landscape for the patients here. Who knows what they think of the flannelled fools on the other side of the wire. The opening game, a grudge match between old rivals, Slovenia and Croatia. Both sides have a high proportion of players with British, Australian and New Zealand backgrounds. Many of the Croatian team even still live down under. But the fact the game is in the former Yugoslavia at all is down to this man. Dr. Borut Sagovnik discovered cricket when he was 13 on a school exchange trip to Kent. He brought the game home.
It was new to me because at that time there was no information in our country, in Yugoslavia, about cricket. I didn't know anything about cricket before. I thought, why wouldn't I buy a set of stumps and bats? We didn't know any rules. We didn't have any support. But I brought with me the copy of MCC cricket rules. So we played on a meadow like this, and then we tried to obey the rules as much as possible. We always had our booklet with us, so in a case of dispute we sat down on a field and looked up in the rules. We played 17 tournaments, single wicket tournaments, and once our bat broke, so this was our only bat, so we had to stop the tournament, and we borrowed a bat from Austria from one of my friends.
The game is still something of a mystery to the few spectators and passers-by.
One of them guys is our neighbor, and he played that game as a child in Australia. And one night we were a little bit drinking and talking about strange sports like lacrosse, Australian football and cricket, and he said, "Oh, I used to play that in Australia." And oh, right, and then he said it's problem because there's no cricket in Slovenia. It's a little bit strange game for people that don't know nothing about it.
And in these tower blocks that add so much of the Eastern European feel here, the rules don't seem to have quite sunk in.
It's very complicated for me. The regulation, I know it's a regulation for only things like boom.
Yeah, looking. Yeah.
And one of the quirks of cricket here is that whatever language they may speak day to day, in the middle, everyone speaks English.
I notice here you get the Australian influence. They add on to everything, don't they? Wait on, come on, or whatever it is. But yeah, I mean, I think that's through the coaching program. I think that comes down through the coaching program, and the ICC and the ECC have done a lot of work, not only with umpires but with the coaching. And this new development of an all-in cricket coaching program, rather than just sort of coaching cover drives, but to coach cricket in the round. I think that will probably add to what we're saying, that they'll learn the cricket language and the cricket feeling.
Staging the championships here was a challenge, but they've taken on an even bigger one, turning cricket from an expat sport into a domestic one.
In, dva, in, dva.
Some of the Luxembourg players took a break from the tournament to teach the girls at this college the principles of the English summer game. It was some challenge.
And what we're going to try and do this morning is try to explain cricket, which takes years and years to learn, in 30 minutes. Okay? So we'll just have a quick warm-up this way round the middle.
So after a quick warm-up around the yard, it was down to basics. The catching was straightforward enough, so was the throwing, but then came the batting.
So what the guys are going to try and do with you is to try and do some front foot drives.
Some got the hang of it more than others. But 30 minutes later, give or take, a simple game of tip and run. So what did they make of it all?
I think that it's a really exciting game. It's very funny. Maybe just for us, because we are playing first time and we have a great time now.
I think it is very interesting, and it is similar to baseball, but I like it.
I've never actually coached a group like that before. It was very interesting. It's very difficult sometimes to know exactly if they even understand your language at all, which is why I didn't actually show them what cricket was all about or go into anything which is particularly difficult. I think anyone can catch, anyone can throw, and anyone can hit a ball. For the starting, it's as much as they need to know. I think when it gets a little bit more complicated, they've got to either be very interested, otherwise they do have a chance of switching off. I think they picked it up fairly easy, but I think at the beginning you've got to keep it that simple so that you don't really confuse them.
For those promoting cricket in Slovenia, it's been a long, hard road to get the game into schools, but at least 10 now have regular sessions.
We have about 300 children we're teaching cricket at the moment, just in this area alone.
And what sort of reaction do you get from them to playing the game?
Well, they love it. We go into the schools and we play inside the in their gyms, so where they have the basketball courts, and we play quick cricket. So it's very fast. It's a very fast game that we play with plastic bats and tennis balls, and they're running around and screaming, and they really enjoyed it.
Now there is a ground here in Ljubljana where there are more people and more youngsters, so they will be able to watch the game and to learn the game, and they will surely become interested and enthusiastic about it.
Okay, one big fizz on now, okay? Clean round, everyone. Fizzing it behind here as well, so you're getting back to the group. Let's go. Talk it up, lads, haven't heard yet. Come on, help each other out.
Back at the championships, the divide between the haves and the have-nots is clear. Sides made up largely of expats are outclassing those who've brought only homegrown youngsters still learning the game. It's been a hard road for Bulgaria. After a 16-hour drive to get here, they feel they're playing on a field that's not level. Their coach says they'll recover and learn from the experience.
This is first competition for Bulgarian team. This is very important because cricket is a new game for Bulgaria. We started before 2 years ago. We have now only six teams. We have in Bulgaria a lot of Pakistan people and a lot of Indian people who live and work in Bulgaria. But this is important for cricket, but not very well for Bulgarian cricket, because this is different nation, cricket nation, and they think for cricket different. So we must start with young player, and I think in university. If you use more international players for high level, this is not good for Bulgarian cricket. Why? We have, for example, a good national team, and in Championship Bulgaria and Bulgarian level, not. I think not good experience, because this is a very young player. We haven't time for preparation.
Every side wants to progress. The winner here plays in next year's European Championships. They all look to the likes of the Netherlands as a small European nation that can break into the big league.
I think the progress some of them have made is incredible, and I think they're getting that sort of feeling that, well, perhaps we could get to the next stage. I mean, all these nations rely on a few people. I mean, it's close to home in a club situation, although it's a national situation. There's a few people carrying it, and one wonders if that breaks down, whether it will continue. That's the worry always with development. And one hopes that these youngsters, and one or two of them, have talent. I won't say they're the best cricketers in the world, but they have good hand-eye coordination, and they've got potential. No doubt about that.
Beautiful trophy.
There's a touch of glamour too. Diana Venter moved to Finland from South Africa. She's now a qualified umpire, as well as playing the game every weekend. As many women have found, cricket can be an inhospitable man's world.
Well, the first look is, I'm not sure if it's a shock or a kind of surprise look. And then when you get out on the field and you do the job as an umpire, and you're just sort of overseeing that the game is played within the laws and don't really interfere in the game, they take it as if it was just any other guy standing there. So,
does it make them behave a bit better?
I think in a way, yes. They do think twice before they throw the old swear words around, because like, oops, lady on the field. I'm still playing at the moment, and I've started about 12 years ago playing, and done some indoor umpiring when you sort of, the action cricket came from Australia to South Africa. I've done some of that umpiring. And originally when I started in Finland, I just started playing, but then I realized that I have a shortage on umpires, and I thought, well, here's my opportunity. Just give something back to the sport that I love so much, and I probably won't be playing for that many years to come, but of course you can umpire till probably you're 80 or something.
At the end of the tournament, time for reflection on how far this very English pastime has come in the East.
I'd assumed that they would know nothing about cricket, but in fact I have actually played for the Ljubljana Cricket Club. I was amazed to discover last year that there are 3 or 4 real aficionados for the game, and it is a game that's spreading here. I don't know why it should be spreading in Slovenia as opposed to other countries, but it's something that the Slovenians like to play, there's no doubt about it. We organised a cricket competition for schools last year, and we'll do so again this October, and I'm delighted that the game appears to be taking off here.
After 15 games in 5 days, Croatia were the winners.
But it's been a very, very memorable tournament for us, and I'm sure will be long remembered in the history of Croatian cricket. So, last but not least, I'd like to thank the team. The boys have been magnificent. A joy to captain this year. So, well done, boys.
And after the celebrations, these teams returned home to try to continue to spread the message.
The game is accessible. It's not something which is a rule book this thick, and it's really, really quite difficult to teach to people. People do like it, except it just gets to a point when they have to make a choice between 2 different sports or 3 different sports or the sports they do at school, and that's when the crunch comes.